Hey, South Bay. This is South Bay by Jackie, the podcast, and I'm Jackie Balestra, your resident guru on all things South Bay. Now, while my website, southbaybyjackie.com, offers a curated calendar of events, this podcast is an extension of that, presenting a more in-depth look at things to do, places to go, and people to know in our fabulous South Bay bubble. So I have big news. Big news. Live in-person theater is back. And aren't we all excited about that? Today, we're going to be talking about the upcoming production of Love Letters taking place on Saturday, July 10th at 3 p.m. in Torino Plaza at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center, presented by the Art Attack Foundation. Now, my guests are Perry Shields and actor Perry Shields and actress comedian Cindy Shields, the husband and wife team starring in this production of Love Letters, their first production in over a year, and producer, director, and choreographer Dan Watt. Cindy, Perry, Dan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so we've all heard how devastated the hospitality industry has been the last 15 months, the personal grooming services, but the arts have taken an even harder hit. I can't even begin to imagine what it's been like for all of you for the last 15 months. Let's go one person at a time. Dan, let's start with you. What has it been like the last 15 months?
Well, my story is a little different because I'm also a film and producer also. So I was working on a documentary so I could work from home, but having the Art Attack Foundation, and we always did 5 to 6 shows a year as fundraisers. And also we have an outreach program where 2 shows a year we did free to kids in the community and battered women's shelters and families who couldn't afford theater. So to have all that stop was very traumatic, because we're used to, presenting stuff and raising funds and giving kids scholarships and then watching them dance or sing. And, we always follow through with our people. So it was devastating on that side, because as artists, we're creative people and we need it in our blood. I think, Cindy and Perry as actual actors, might have a different side to that story, because I was still able to work because I could just sit at my computer from home on the film side, but on the theater side, we were crying tears with my friends all across the country.
I bet. Perry, Cindy, which one of you would like to give us an insight as to what it's been like the last 15 months?
Well, I'll just say that one thing I've been saying over and over is that theater is one thing. And the thing that it is live. Once you're on TV, it's not theater, it's like a television show or something else. I mean, legitimate, but it's not theater. So the attempts in this past year to use Zoom to perform live theater, it's really like a new creation. Talking heads in a box doing like a staged reading is not really theater. It's talking heads in a box doing staged reading. But so nothing can really replace live theater. Sure, we have television programs, but those are television shows. You can record a live theater performance, but now it's a televised recording of a live theater performance. It's still like live theater is one thing. And so I'm really happy that Dan asked us to do this so that we can actually do live theater the way it's meant to be done.
Perry and I did some virtual shows, and they were so fun. It told the story, and they turned out really well. It's live theater. There's nothing like it. I did. I'm a comedian, so I did virtual stand-up shows, and it was actually really kind of fun because I could do my dishes. I didn't have the drive. I could listen to the other comics. I'm like, that was amazing. While I'm cleaning my house, I'm like, this is weird. So and the shows were fun and very relaxed and a little nerve-wracking because you've got more logistics like camera angles and this, and which I'm just so terrible at anyway. But live theater, you want to connect to your audience. You want to, there's just nothing like live. That not to sound trite, but it's so true. You just want that connection with other human beings in the same room, and not be able to do your laundry while you're watching. No, you know what I'm saying? I'd be sitting there watching these great virtual shows, and I'm like, I'm eyeballing my dishes in the sink. I'm like, oh crap, So I just want to focus
Well,
on.
no, you're right. It is completely different. As a kid that grew up going to Broadway shows,
Yeah.
there is nothing like live theater. There's nothing like live concerts.
Yes.
I mean, listening to
Yes.
an album is one thing. Watching a concert on TV is another thing. But going to a live concert is it's completely different, better.
And you also get, and again, the way that I look at theater is that, again, each show is different. The actors can tell you that also, but also as an audience member, you're sitting there and you're getting that energy, and the people around you affect that night. The people on stage affect that night. There's just so much energy and buzz. And to me, it's always been exciting, and no matter what the show is, because I just love that, love the theater space and love being in it, and hence the reason I started the Art Attack Foundation way back when, but we can get to that later. But it just needs, I had reached out to them probably before the pandemic was over, and we were figuring out, is there a way to do it? And then I had to reach out to the city of Torrance, because were they willing to do it? And for that 1 month, they weren't willing to do it, but then we were able to, they were like, nah, not yet. And then, I said, well, what if we did, the guidelines, and we'll do the, we're still going to do the, follow the COVID guidelines by the city of Torrance. And I'm still going to do social distancing, and the seats are going to be set up based on who buys them. So Jackie, if you bought 4, you're going to have your group of 4, and then there'll be 10 feet, and then a group of 2, or whoever buys the next thing. So I'm still taking that in, because I feel I still have a duty to do that, and a responsibility. So we're still going to follow that along with whatever the city guidelines are. But I reached out to them, and we tried, and the city wasn't ready for it. And then the city was ready for it if everybody wore a mask. And now, so it's been a progression.
Right.
And then finally, the last, I don't know, guys, what do you think, 5 or 6 weeks, it was like, okay, let's just jump in, and boom, here we are.
Yeah, June 15th,
Yes.
the June 15th date. Yeah, the governor announced sometime in May that
Right.
June 15th was the date, and that's what the last show I did. A couple of people putting on a fireworks event in Redondo Beach this July, and they literally threw it together in 6 weeks.
Right.
It was like as soon as the governor made that announcement, they went into high gear, and it was something they'd normally take 6 months to plan, and they did it in 6 weeks. So yeah, so and this is going to be outside, correct, in Torino
Yes.
Plaza? Yes.
Right.
Okay, all right. I was just thinking about what you were saying about seating people according to like how many people in that group. It's going to be like having your own little private box.
Yes, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, I like that. And Torino Plaza is great. There's plenty of room there. Speaking of how you said every performance is different, I could tell you stories about theater I've seen where at the crucial moment, the actor busts out laughing for whatever reason. I mean, I have seen so much stuff where you're right. Not every performance is different, but that's another story for another time. That was what I was going to ask you, is how it came together, when you decided it was safe to do it. Were you working with Chris Wolf over at TOCA?
Over at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center? Yeah. I dealt with, I actually went through Jean at the box office, and she talked to her bosses upstairs. And I actually have a meeting tomorrow with the gentleman who will be setting up the tables and all of that. So I have to go there, and we're going to have a tentative layout of, in what space, and we'll see, sight lines and all that, because I need everybody to see Perry and Cindy. So if there's a light,
of course,
100%. So if there's a light pole, no table, no chairs go behind it. So we're still working those logistics out. And what the box office told me today, which is really, really great, we're actually the first show they've done with ticket sales.
Yeah.
They've had people come who want to film just them doing, like Cindy said, maybe a comedy special, but nothing open to the public. So they got scanners, so the people can buy their tickets online and print it there, or they also have it where the city has set it up now where they can download it to their phone. So there won't be any touching of the tickets if the audience doesn't want that. So, or they can bring they can have the box office mail the tickets to their house. So they're also offering so many ways like that. So I think it's really great that the city of Torrance has stepped up and, got that equipment, so that the volunteers feel safer and the people coming, and we'll just set it up as, I'm going to set it up. Whoever bought their tickets first get the front row. So
there you go. Everybody run out and get your tickets now.
Exactly. The closer you get,
$22. Go to the artattackfoundation.com right now and get your tickets. So you get
exactly. Hurry.
Yeah.
So Love Letters, a classic play. When did that, how old is that? How old is Love Letters?
Oh my gosh. I have it behind me, but I don't want to stand up and get it. But I was lucky. I saw that play done many, many times. It was up at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. And I think it was every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, they brought in new performers. And I just loved going to see those new performers. So I saw it with Carol Burnett and Rue McClanahan and Hal Linden, all these people that I loved and admired. I would go, my boyfriend was like, nah, you can go on your own. I've seen it enough.
I don't need to see it again.
But I'm like, no, how can you not see, Hal Linden do that? Or I saw Dixie Carter and her husband do it. I mean, how can you not?
Gerald McRaney?
The Dixie Carter was married to Hal
Holbrook.
Hal Holbrook. Yeah.
Perry and I saw it early in our marriage with Carol Burnett. Leslie Nielsen. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Well, is this your first time, Cindy and Perry? Is this your first time doing this?
Oh, yes.
Yes. What a thrill.
I'm familiar with A.R. Gurney from my college days. He writes vignette type plays like Scenes from American Life, The Dining Room, which are all plays that usually take place in over a period of years. And that's his style. And Love Letters, these characters go through, childhood through old age, but the actors are asked by the author not to speak in baby voices or old age voices, but they're like, these letters are kind of being read almost like, in this kind of perfect middle-aged state where they're just reading,
And it says specifically, do not act.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah, no, it's I'm getting a little teary-eyed because I remember some of the stuff from it. It's very emotional. It's very emotional.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I had forgotten. I was reading it again this morning and I had forgotten certain parts and I'm like, oh man.
Well, this might be, you don't have to memorize, right? Because you actually have the letters. You have your script right in front of you.
And not to generalize, but as you get older, you're grateful for those moments where you don't have to memorize.
Right.
Well, I also think what makes it great, well, first of all, I've loved these two forever. And I've wanted to do this show with them for a couple of years, and we couldn't figure it out. And then I was just like, oh my God, this is the perfect time to try again. But I love, and like Perry said, the way the author wrote it is he doesn't want them to memorize it, and he wants them to, as they read it, relive it and what emotions come up and the journey that he takes these characters on through that entire lifespan. It's like they were just two ships that passed they just never connected. That's why I went kept going back. Yes, I wanted to see other actors do it, but you want to see their interpretation of it. And it is just an amazing story. So I can't wait to see these two.
And
Yeah.
the timing is so crazy because Perry and I will be celebrating our 35th wedding anniversary this November. So it's like
30, yeah.
we're doing love letters.
It should be your life.
So sweet. Dad didn't even know that. And we love Dad. How do you not love Dad? And we love his beloved Ron. So we were so excited from the get-go of, yay, we get to work with our friends. So
That's it. So is it just one performance?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But if it's really good, maybe an encore somewhere down the road.
oh, honey,
Oh,
we're going
that's
to
true.
Broadway. I'm packed. No,
Right.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I've been a resident of Torrance most of my life, not contiguous years, but most of my life. And I performed in the rec center when I was a kid, performed many times in the Armstrong, many times in the Nakano, couple things in the Toyota, but I've never performed in the Torino Plaza. So this is gonna fill in that missing piece
Same here.
in that
Same here.
plaza. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So tell us about the Art Attack Foundation. Yeah.
Well, I started it was 2004. So is that like, oh my God, that's like 17 years. God, I'm old. That's like, so like,
Yeah.
can you edit that out? No. Like 17 years ago. And I started it because I worked at the Armstrong Theater I worked for the Cultural Arts Center for 10 years. And I also taught musical theater and dance and choreographed and produced musicals and stuff. I don't want this to, I saw kids coming to the Armstrong Theater who didn't want to be there. Their grandma or their parents bought them tickets to come see. There was a series called The Peanut Gallery that was all geared for little kids. And in the beginning, it was great. And then I saw these kids that just didn't want to be there. And they didn't understand, or it wasn't explained, or, and you would see them kicking their feet as grandma said, come on, let's go to the theater. And I thought I wanted to start a foundation where kids that wanted to be there could go and might not have the means. Hence the reason we have the scholarship fund to offer monies to kids in any area of the performing arts. And that's where this money is going to go to. The money raised here is going to go to our scholarship fund.
Yay.
And then we also had the outreach, the Adopt a Kid, which was for kids who wanted to go to the theater, but their families just didn't have the means to do that. So I would get the Sandpipers would help support that, and also some wonderful people named Stephen and Kathy Schultz would sponsor one show a year. And then we could invite these kids that have never been to the theater ever, and to just see their eyes light up and to see the joy and excitement, and they weren't being dragged there again because grandma said, let's go. So that was the whole reason, because I wouldn't be where I am right now, because I used to be, a dancer way back when. The only reason I made it was by scholarships and work study programs. My mom and dad said, we can pay for 3 classes. That's it. That's all we can pay for a week. And I had so many wonderful teachers in studios that said, okay, well, you can clean the studio. Or I had teachers who said, well, if you're my assistant in this class, which means absolutely nothing except you change the record, then I got the class for free. So the teachers were taking a cut in pay because they saw something in me and I was their assistant in that class. So I just wanted to pay it forward.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Well, Dance One is the beneficiary of this.
Right. For this year. Yeah. I talked to our board of directors, and we felt, since we're in the South, we give scholarships to anyone across the country. Actually, I should say in the world, because we gave one to a kid in Brazil who was going to school in Pennsylvania. So,
wow.
The board felt, since Cindy and Perry are from the South Bay, I live in the South Bay, it was formed in the South Bay, why don't we make our first scholarship? Because last year we didn't have the money to give any out, and nobody was, why don't we give it to somebody in the South Bay? So we're giving it to Dance One, which is a dance studio in Redondo Beach, and Francesca Stern is the owner, and I've taught master classes for her, and they teach this amazing foundation of dance. Even if you don't become a professional dancer, you're learning correctly, and you're learning, they're laying the groundwork properly. And the board of directors was like, they're perfect for it. Let's do it. Let's keep it all in the South Bay.
I love that. I love that. That's great. No, that's fantastic. And I understand you have somebody kind of famous as your chairperson.
Well,
Just
yeah.
kind
Well, it's interesting. Our current chairperson is Cheetah Rivera, and she's been so gracious and has done some concerts for us at Birdland in New York, where all the monies went to our scholarship fund. And I just like that she always, one of her comments was, you just never know where the next scholarship is going to go and who it's going to turn out to be. And it might just be the next star. And one of our scholarships in the beginning, Donald Weber, is now the lead in Hamilton. He was in it on Broadway, and now he's the lead up in San Francisco. One of our other scholarships, Kyle, danced in Memphis on Broadway. So you just never know who you're helping. And she is so gracious to give her time and and support. And maybe there'll be a concert in Birdland this fall. And before that, B. Arthur was the original chairperson. And then when she passed on, I thought, who else encompasses the performing arts? And Cheetah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so this is Love Letters. It's going to be on Saturday, July 10th at 3 p.m. in Torino Plaza at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. It's presented by the Art Attack Foundation. This is an outdoor venue. All right, seating, they're going to be socially distanced. Tickets are $22, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you can get the tickets at www.artattackfoundation.org, right? And Dan just told us whoever buys the tickets first gets the best seats. They're going to be right up front, and so if you wait till the last minute, you're going to be in the back. But it should all be good viewing, right?
You don't have to tip the waiter to get the good seat.
Yeah.
Operators are standing by.
All right, so I just want to know. Just tell me how happy everybody is that you're all going back to work now.
Yeah, 100%.
And do you have stuff lined up, or are you going to be? You got stuff to do after this one's done? And
I don't know. I'm just waiting to see. Not that I'm not giving a plug here, but Torrance Theater Company just announced they're doing the musical Nonsense this summer in the Armstrong. There was no summer musical last summer, so this would be since 2019 they did Beauty and the Beast. They're going to do Nonsense, which has actually been rewritten by the author to include like a 20-member chorus. It's usually like a 5-person show, but not much news on it yet. They just had auditions, but that's slated to go up in the Armstrong. I don't know the protocols, if it's going to be 500 seats like the Armstrong can hold, or if they're going to do a capacity audience or certain capacity. I don't know, but it looks like little by little. Again, the city, I think the city protocols are driving what we can do.
Right. And the state's driving that, the Fed's driving that. So
right.
A little at a time.
The Burbank Comedy Festival is happening in August, and it's gonna be live, with virtual options if people feel more comfortable. So I'll be a part of the live show. So I'm so excited. Auditions are opening up, live auditions instead of the self-tapes, which my dear sweetheart has been helping me with. So it's very exciting, and everybody's just so happy to be together.
Yeah.
Bed or whatever.
We're all just happy to be able to be together and see each other.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm actually next month. I'm going to New York. I'm going to get to see my mom for the first time in a year and a half.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah,
yay.
So,
Oh,
and the rest of my family. So yeah, that's going to be great. Yeah.
God
it's-
bless
yeah,
you. That's
yeah.
great.
Well, you know, I want to thank you all for being with me today to talk about this, because this is exciting. Live in-person theater is back. Love Letters, taking place on Saturday, July 10th at 3 p.m. in Torino Plaza at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. Tickets are $22. And for additional information and ticket purchase, you can visit the website at www.artattackfoundation.org. My guests, Cindy Shields, Perry Shields, and Dan Watt, thank you so much for joining me today. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you, Jackie.
Jackie.
Thank
And
you.
I hope to see you all around the South Bay.
All right.
Woohoo! Hope we see you, girl.
Thank you.
All right, everybody,
All
that's
right.
the show. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for watching. Until next time.